Okay, my new thing came. So it's this one's pretty good, really. So we'll see how long this one lasts. I don't know. But now I'm back sitting normal. And so let's talk about my hair first thing, because it's tripping me out. Just look at, like, on this side too. It's like I haven't had that in so long. This has all been white, and then the white had all gone up here. So it was all white, all like, and so now it is like this little bit is left, like this part. And then, and as it's changing, the other thing that's tripping me out is it's like the color is changing in my hair. And so this color is reminding me of like high school. It has got like this reddish colors in it. It's like blonde and brown and reddish. When I'm standing in the mirror and looking, I can see, like, and it's like, I can't see the back of my head, obviously. But all this part right here, and even when I look down and I see my hair, it's like, whoa, the color, it's becoming like, I feel like it's going back to like in high school or something, like this richness, like, as we age or something and our hair just gets like drier and more, it's just part of this aging thing. You take elements, or you take something that something needs and you stop giving it to it, it dries up and decays. And I swear to God, the hair thing, I don't know when it started. I try and think back of, it just was weird. When I looked down, I was like, wow, my hair color looks different, but it looks familiar. Like, I remember looking at it, looking like this. And I remember in high school, because I wanted to have red hair. My brother had red hair, and he got picked on for having red hair, but I wanted to have red hair. And then I would have people say, oh, your hair is so red, but it didn't look, I mean, it looked like brown. I don't know. There's some kind of red tinge to it, but it had gotten lost through time, but it seems like it's coming back. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's just, in a transition. I don't know. I don't know where we're going to end. I think we're going to not have any gray, though. Like, I still think by this weekend it's going to be really, like, how fast it's going. Each day I can see a noticeable difference. And if you start doing the copper thing, so on the copper thing, I'll say again, because I have my copper cup. So you fill it with the water, and then you pour the water each day into your glass cup. I use a steel cup. But if you pour it, don't do plastic, because that leaches toxins. So use something like glass or metal or something. And I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine like the copper having a reaction with the metal, but I don't know all this science shit. So maybe the copper is more activated, or maybe it does something by being in the metal cup, which I would guess it must be aluminum or something. It's just a metal Starbucks cup, which I guess that, I don't know. I don't know about this Stanley Cup thing, why it's so, I don't know. People jump on the weirdest trends. And then I even heard this one person saying, like, I don't get why you guys think these cups are so special. I have one like in every color. It's just a cup. I don't have one. I don't even know what the hell. I just hear people Stanley Cup. And then there's this big Stanley Cup drama at Target. And it's like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I've seen this stuff like the Cabbage Patch Kids, the Beanie Babies. I've seen this stuff happen before. It's just like, oh my God, why do people get so like, I gotta have it, I gotta have it. Man, the lines that used to be for like Cabbage Patch Babies, oh my God. It was an ordeal. And then the Beanie Babies, oh my God. That too, that just went off crazy. But So anyways, the copper, and then to me, the magnesium, and then you just got to see like how many you need. It's like going to depend on how short you are, I guess, probably. And then you have to have the vitamin D to activate the magnesium. And then I don't know, because there could be other ones. So if you're doing it in your hair and you're not seeing things change fast on you, then think about like other elements or other minerals or something that you could also be missing. I saw a thing too that said that every zodiac sign has certain minerals they need. And I don't know, people are just coming up with stuff. The amount of people doing videos that they were at the mall in Miami and telling their story. And some of the stories are so absurd. And then they'll say, there's all these people out there telling these lies, but I was there, or I'm telling the truth. It's like all these people, it's like, what in the world? Like these, I don't know. I just don't get, it's like mindless phoniness. That's so stupid. Let's just add into it. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and then let's make fun of them. You're not the problem. So anyways, so I drink the copper water, and I drink more than 1 cup a day, but it doesn't have as much time to get the water more leached with copper or whatever. So, but drinking out of the copper thing all day long, see, if you just fill up the copper thing and then you just drink out of it, it's never really getting it. I see this one guy who's always doing these videos, and he just been doing ones on copper cups lately. And he just has a big copper cup and he just drinks out of it all day long. To me, though, you get a more condensed water. Like if you just put it in, it doesn't have that much time to really leach it out and get it into the water. And so I think it's better to put it in and then leave it sitting overnight, and then pour it into your cup in the morning, and then refill your thing, and then just sip it through the day. And if you feel like you're getting nauseated or something, then you may have too much copper. So get some more water, and put more water that's not the copper water in it, and see if it makes you feel better. As that's the only thing I've noticed, is that it will make you kind of feel nauseous. But everybody's different. You got to pay attention to your body. Like when you're doing something different, you got to pay attention. And so anyways, I think that it is like reverse aging. I don't think it just is doing hair. I feel like my skin, I feel like my energy, everything. I just feel like, man, I'm really stuck on this thing about them knowing how to deplete us of these minerals that we need to survive. And then they come up with the cover story like they do in everything. So all they do is create cover stories for nonsense. And that they create a cover story and tell us it's called aging because we get old and we die. It's like, no, you're making us get old and die. And you tell us that we're going to die just to scare us. And then people die because they believe it. And then they get sick. Yesterday, I went up to the hospital to take our suitcases and stuff. And I could not believe the parking lot. It was so fucking full. It was so... And just going into the main part, there was just people everywhere. And of course, they're wearing these things again. Not every single person. But on the floor that I went to go see, they made me wear one of those. And I can't... Oh my God. It was real thick too. And I could barely breathe. I kept holding it out. It's like, this is, it's against, it's like against our, rights for being alive, to tell us that we have to, not breathe. It's like, and the people who just play along, but then there's a part, like, remember, it's about intention. There's a part where people do it just because they're just assholes, and then there's a part where people do it because they're so scared and they really, really believe that this is saving them. That is the power of programming, because it's just ridiculous. But I mean, but you have to be connected to your soul, yourself, in order to realize, there's all these people, they think they're doing things to extend their life or shorten their life or make their life better or do this or do that. It's like, The thing that you do is you have a pocket, you have a window, you have a space in time to go in and experience and play a role with this group. And you have that space and time to go in and have that experience. And when you go in, you, it's like, if you have your window of time, but you're always distracted, you're always thinking about something else. Somebody's talking to you, but always like, wait, what? Wait, what? Because you're always thinking about this over here, because you're always thinking about death and, how to survive and all these different things that keeps your mind spinning in a place that doesn't need to be spinning. If you move out of that kind of, but it's like a connection to have to yourself, you move out of that, then you are more focused, and then you can be more productive in your life experience. So when you are living it and you have a one pocket of time, but you think it can somehow, you have control over it, then see why it's so, when times end, the abrupt, and then even if it's a slow, like your mom's dying of cancer or something, it's slow, and it still feels like you don't have any control, because you don't have any control. And that is where you got to find peace and trust in not having control, and understanding that everything's okay. Even when the worst circumstances and the worst situations that are happening. And it kind of is like, to me too, because it's weird, because you have all these people who, they're so mad or they're so sad, or, and then you fucking tell them, well, your soul, you came up with this storyline. This is your storyline. Nobody came up with this for you and forced you into it. You came up with this all yourself. And it kind of, I don't know, kind of irritating. It's like, you're coming up with this horribleness, and then you're sitting here whining about it. It's like, get in touch with yourself. You're here to learn from it. You came up with it. Deal with your weirdo shit. Like, came up with this horrible storyline. We all came up with some horrible storylines. Like, or I think that it is, like, it's so, man, masterful. It's so intricate. Like, your development of you as the character, because it is, like, yeah, it's hard, because it's like, you got to see, like, all this stuff, how it goes just so together. Everything just goes together, so perfectly woven. Every moment is an interaction that was precisely put into place. And so when you're going through these things that are so perfect in alignment for your experience, and it's happening all the time, and it's, because this is like, because it's weird, because it's like you choose it, but you don't just sit up at the drawing board. Okay, well, you're going to do this. So after you do that, then I'm going to walk in, and then you're going to come in then, and then I'm going to get triggered. And then, we're not sitting there developing these storylines like, okay, so if you do that, oh, that won't work. No. Okay, let's try it again. Well, okay, you come in, and, look at all the time that you'll be spending. The time has already gone by. So it's like, it's almost like it's instantaneous. It's almost like the spot that needs to be filled. It's almost like the age is going, say, like the age is going and develop, but it's like everything was always going to happen. The part you were going to play is always going to be the part that you play. It isn't just like people just jumping in to your storyline. Your storyline, but everything has such a bigger bleed out into the universe. And so it seems like people just get caught up in their storyline, but it's like the parts, all the parts that need to be played are all available And it is almost like you step into a part, but the part fits you. It fits your what you're learning about and stuff. Like it's like a coordinated event, but it's like a thought. It's like this giant solar system of thought. And it's so precise. And so it's like this giant solar system of thought that creates experience, that creates realities, which then creates realms. And realms are like opportunities. And so all of the creation of all of the things, it happens as fast as you can create a thought. It's like as fast as, because it's the universal consciousness, and it is moving, and it's so trippy because it's like we're the cells that move it, and it is like so it's like this morphing. It's like this energetic morphing, and it's like this energetic like spark. And so we're like this energetic morphing spark that is it's like this synapse. It's like you have synapses that it's like the synapse is the first domino that pushes. So you have these synapses that go. It's like, but we're like the synapses of the universal mind. So we are all the thought. We become all the thought. See, this is like a past, like thinking of life thinking about life in 3D, and thinking about life as spiritual, and then thinking about life. This is more thinking about of life energy as an energetic being. And so you are this energy. It's like the flame, the power that moves the universe into expansion. And you're the thought form that is it's like a magnificence of creation. And the thing, it seems to me, is like your independence of thought, your creation of thought, gives you identity as a separate being, like a separate thought. And you can go into that thought, like you can go into the thought and experience the thought, like just like going into a dream, only you slow it down so you can experience it. And there's like, to me, like when I see like it looks like like energetically, it's like it looks like lava moving down. Like everything is micro macro, because a river, the lava running down. So the energetic force that moves the energy, the natural energetic force that moves energy. And so the energy moves. It's like the universe is this giant energy of movement, and we are the movement. And it's almost like we are the movement of that. That's what we're really doing. That's what's really happening. It's like we stop and think, and we put ourselves into experiences. But if you were really to go and just see us as what everything is this force, is an energetic force of expansion that creates experience, and all experience expands the universal consciousness of intelligence of the mind, of understanding and acceptance, because that's what they're always trying to understand. The more that you can understand, the more that you can accept. The more, because see, like, that's what I keep seeing about, is about opening your mind. Like, the whole purpose of the universe is mind opening. Like, it's about expansion. So if you're, a person, a soul or whatever in an experience, and you are limiting your experience, that is like going against the nature of growth. It's like you're trying to take something and make it not grow. But everything has lessons. So it doesn't matter what you ever do, because everything has a part that plays out. So everything has a consequence. Everything has a lesson. Everything has another side. And so, but it's like we are this energy, this like force moving, like the light in the dark. It's like the creation of light, and we are the movement of that. And then it's like us in that, like that is moving, like lava moving. But if you went into the lava and you broke it down to every little living cell in there, that every living cell can have its own experience. So you are this movement, but you are an experience, just like how you can be alive as a human in this experience, but you can go into dreams, you can go into other places and go into dream and have a different experience. And so it is like, just like how that's a subcategory of this experience, to go into a dream and have another experience. And so it's like, that is what you are in this giant movement of energy, is the expansion of experience. And so it's like you stop and think about it. You stop and experience it. You stop and witness it. You stop. And that's why it seems like when we're in here in the slowed down version, it seems like, oh my God, this takes so long. It's so slow. But really, it's just like slow down. Just like how you can, with these videos, you can push a thing and it make it start going real fast and the person starts talking real fast. And then, or you can slow it down. So it's like the same thing as like, well, we're going through to witness this experience, to get the full impact of this experience. But the thing is all these people who are in their experience get caught up in thinking that that's all there is. I mean, especially when you get these things about like, you got one life, you have one chance, one opportunity, that's it. And then all the stuff where, I guess the challenge is when they keep dumping sickness on you, that, it's going to, I mean, that's what we're seeing where it leads to. It's like every experience, every experiment. But it's so wild is because, in the real thing, how we are this movement going, but see, everything is slowed down. It's like we don't stay up in that focus. Like, I think that like when people want to go to a place of connection, like the heavens, when they're just like connected to other beings in that place where it just feels good, like going back home, it is like that to me is when you are in that that part of the whole, like you are a cell in the lava, and, like a part of the teapot. So when you are in that space where you feel that connection in your soul, you feel back home. But there is all these other step downs, these other dimensions, these other possibilities before you get to there. So see, like in this, it's like we're birthed into this experience. And that's why we can move around and do stuff that other beings can't do so well. And but we can do, because we are birthed into it. So it's like our, well, it should be our, what is that word? Like our, our optimal environment. So to create this like optimal environment for the being. So you are birthed into like the optimal kind of way to survive in the environment. So you are, it's your natural environment. And that's why all they're natural. They're just from other shifts. They're from other places. And so when they shift in, it isn't the same for them. And, that's why I've said, like, for ghosts and some of these different creatures, some of these creatures can come in and eat you. Like, that's for sure. But or take you. But I don't know. The taking you, I don't know. One QHHT lady said that there's people who have little humans in their bird cages and stuff, just like how we catch birds, sing, sing. And then so, people catch us because we're animals too. We're not above all this. We're the same as all this. But the people who are part of it, they're disconnected from themselves and from what they really are. But so there's like all these different levels of where you can still go in and have all these experiences. Just because you die, you don't have to just go back and be a part of this just soul being just another soul and a big soul. But the soul becomes like so much bigger because it connects back in and it becomes what is bigger. So it feels good to be back home, but it isn't like, there can be like, there is probably people who incarnate and then they go back home just because it's like feels good. And I swear there's still something to this being home, being a part of your oversoul, because there still is, everything is like the same with the cell splitting. Everything in the universe is that same kind of energy. And so you have like all of the energy, but then you have it like go into these splits, like these oversoul things. So, but an oversoul is like more advanced, like as a soul that's been around for a long time. So say for instance, if I was being aware of myself for millions of years, of year time or whatever, all just time is weird because time is different in different places. So it's like you have to acknowledge the time that you go into, but you can shift somewhere else. Like some of these beings can go to all different places. They're not all on the same time. They're not all on the same clock. That is like time travel. That is like you're going to different places because not every place is on the same time. So you go, and so, but so if you started being aware of yourself all this time ago when things like were just starting, and you have been developing throughout time, ascending and becoming more clear of yourself, more defined and refined version of yourself throughout all of your different experiences, then you, it's like you mastering yourself then is like you get to a point of mastery where you can then go and birth out, like, you could be a bunch of different souls at once. You could be having tons of different experiences at once. And so all those different experiences happening, then when those souls die, see, they go back home. They go back to you. But you are now, though, a higher self. You're more advanced. And so you can birth out, like, you can go into a whole bunch of different experiences. Like, you can let these parts of you go out. Like, a soul is a fractal, like it's a little part. And so that little part can go out and have an experience. So an oversoul could be having thousands and thousands of experiences at once. And the individual soul, see, there's something where you like, I swear something about this ascension, becoming yourself, like you're moving more into becoming an oversoul, into being able to birth yourself out into more and more and more. And that is an expansion, as a huge creation, an expansion of the universal energy of it, when you then become godlike, because then you can have all these different experiences at once. So you can have all these different souls, different parts of yourself. But you see how it takes time to develop yourself. And that's what everybody's doing here. It's not like you have to hurry, you have to be done. You got nothing but time. I guess not the time what they keep us trapped on, but real time. Like, real time is just an endless supply of movement and action. So you've got more than enough time. It's like a natural progression from a soul to become a spark, to become so much more. Like, that's the micro macro. And see, it's like the spark then goes out and has these experiences that feeds this and makes it bigger and stronger and be able to see more, and it can have more experiences and more experiences. Like, I have heard before, there's like these 13 oversouls that all the different souls go back to, which I don't know, but that's how our body works, though. On micro macro is that we have organs, and so we have these individual organs that have individual duty, that in each organ has thousands and thousands, probably millions of cells. And so it's like, that is like micro macro. But where people, it's all stages of development. Everything about your understanding of who you are in this place is about opportunity to understand yourself, because that is what this is all about, is this opportunity to see yourself and understand yourself. And that's why it's corrupted in the teachings, where they tell you to ignore this side of yourself, pretend like you're perfect, pretend like you've got nothing wrong, just keep telling yourself that you're perfect. Sounds very ego, huh? Just tell yourself you're perfect, nothing's wrong. And then if anybody doesn't like something you say, or you hurt someone's feeling, just cut them out of your life. Just cut them all out of your life. Just stay focused on love, 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 but cut people out of your life. It's like, there's so much hypocrisy in some of these teachings that these people, but then they just get so like, I don't know. They're just all in their own stages of development. Everybody's in their own stages of development, their own stages of understanding. But, it's necessary to pay attention to yourself, to understand yourself, when that's what you're here to do, is understand yourself. And why would you need to understand yourself if you weren't meant to fine-tune yourself? Like, you're just meant to watch yourself do stupid shit? Or are you meant to learn how to control yourself, to manage yourself, to master yourself, to be aware of yourself, to understand your emotions, to be able to decide if that's the emotion you want to have, and understand like your automatic response system, and to go into try and these words going to manufacture, manipulate, like, but it's go back in so that you are, it's like fine tuning. It's like, so you are the one in control. So you're in control of your emotions, and I swear, the more that you get in control, like, I don't know, I'm just going to keep watching how this all plays out. But, if it really truly is that, all these minerals and stuff that you need to be drinking and eating, and that people aren't because they're so busy eating like 14 fucking cake mixes mixed with fucking marshmallows and chocolate chips and caramel sauce and shit, that, and so you can see the depletion even. Like, it makes so much sense when you watch some of these fucking recipes. It makes so much sense why we have such a problem with obesity. But then the people start turning it on themselves. They start hating themselves rather than seeing that they can have control of themselves, that they can decide what they want to eat and how much they want to eat. They don't have to be, and it's also, it's like a product of your environment when you are overridden with parasites, because that's one thing I have noticed for sure, that I am not having cravings like I was. Like, usually I would get up in the morning and I would be craving sugar, and I have to have cookies and biscotti and all that stuff. I don't, now, I'll still get cravings of sugar. I've always had cravings of sugar ever since I was a kid. But I have noticed, like, I don't feel as hungry. I don't feel as cravey as I did. I still get hungry. Like, my stomach's starting to growl already. You can already hear it start, like, I can feel it churning up. Like, come on, girl, we're going to eat. And, but anyways, I can tell a difference by doing all this stuff. And, and I know I'm like extreme. That's one thing. So that is, I mean, somebody else in the comments, they've been doing the copper water cup for a while, but now they're going to add in the magnesium and the vitamin D and stuff and see what their results start being. And I'm going to think that theirs is going to do the same thing. I'm going to think that everybody who starts putting these certain enzymes or minerals together, vitamins, whatever, if you put them together, that you're going to start noticing a difference. But I also, I do a lot of the natural holistic stuff, because in the tea stuff in the morning, I've got all sorts of powders and stuff, which kind of freaks me out, even where I started thinking, man, I've got all these powders and I'm trusting all these people. They could grind up any motherfucking shit. Like, if you're not the one grinding up your stuff, like, it could be full of just ground up bugs and all sorts of stuff. It's like, because there's this one, and when I was at that one store and there was all these different powders, I'm like, oh, I gotta get this one, and then I got this one, and it was like cacao. It had like fiber in it or something. I was like, oh, well, that might be good. Try that. And it's like, I don't normally eat anything with fiber because it gives me a stomach ache, but I got it for some reason. I swear to God, I have no idea why. Sometimes you do things that it's like you sit there and go, why did I do that? Like, what? Why would I even get that? I don't even like this shit. So I like the cacao, but I don't like the fiber. I don't like these seeds and stuff. And so when I was making my tea blend powder things, and I put a spoonful of that stuff in there, I thought, oh, that'd be good. Give a little cacao pow in the morning. And then, so I mixed a whole big fucking thing. It's got all this mushroom and all this powders in it. And then I just put this little spoonful of this fucking cacao with fiber. And, every fucking time I make the tea, it's got these motherfucking seeds, like these husks or something floating up to the top. And I keep thinking about it. I was thinking, man, is this coming from that? Like, how do you put the tiniest bit? Or do some of these powders have like weevils and shit? Like if you've ever had flour that got weevils in it, if that are weevils, I don't even know what they're called. I think they're called weevils. And I started thinking, fuck. It was reminding me as I'm having my stuff floating up in my tea. I was like, oh my God, are these like husks in this powder? Is this like, do I have like weevils in my powders? Like, ugh. There's weevils in flour. Would there be weevils in the powders? It's like I start going, think about that, and then I start thinking about, oh my God, so if there's weevils in the flour, are the weevils, are they parasites? Do they lay out larvae? Are we eating weevils and we're getting weevil worms inside of us? Like, I don't know. Like they're always saying, like there's some other new worm now, but it's an actual living worm. It isn't microscopic. It's fucking like this long, and they're finding them in people's brains. So they're getting inside of us and swimming around. Like I can't, like even if you feel like this, like feeling inside of yourself, like this is where it gets crazy talk. Because you're just sitting there, all of a sudden you feel something inside of you. Like in my face. I feel things crawling around in my goddamn face. But you feel some like a little pain or something inside of your body. And it's like you jump. And then it's like, oh my God, is that a fucking worm? Is it trying to burrow out? I'm like, yes. This stuff can drive you so fucking crazy. But if I am right, and it is this detoxing. So, because a lot of this, all these powders and stuff, oh my gosh, I don't understand what the hell. I'm like, God damn. It's so uncomfortable. It's like, ugh. Hold on, 41 minutes. Fuck, and I'm so uncomfortable. And, so, I gotta move around a lot. Fuck. My bony butt. I swear to God. I don't know. But I feel like for all that, doing all this detoxing, because I was thinking about this, like when my hair started changing, so dramatically, then I started, thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm reverse aging right now. Because like I'm always thinking about this med bed thing, right? So I'm like, so it's age reversing right now by getting the toxins and stuff out of you. So by detoxing and the anti-parasite, all that stuff is like taking you in reverse, because that's what's killing us. That's what's making us sick. And then the added thing is the pain that people carry inside of them from the traumas that have occurred in their lives and the things that they've gone through and not knowing how to handle them, and then feeling bad about themselves. And then people carry on through their whole lives. Like these people who are like 70 and 80 years old, where people are like, oh, boomer and stuff like that. Those boomers, they think this. Those boomers, they think that, and stuff like that. It's like you're talking about a group of people that is carrying a lot of pain that they've never dealt with. And so I think that's where you can group them together as like, yeah, well, boomers always do it because they have a natural reaction to certain things. But it's like, it is like a group kind of, because it's like generationally the things that are introduced and the ways of behavior that are structured around that generation. And there was so much during, that they need to just get over it, talk about things, you keep secrets, like a lot of that stuff is ingrained into them. It's like so programmed into them. And so they don't know how to heal. So they're all aging. Then you have this next group of people who I think that, I'm in this group of people, and it is people who are aging, but they're aging differently. They're aging younger. They're not aging in the same way. Some people, some people are, but there's a lot of people who aren't, that they are taking aging to a different level. They're taking care of themselves. They are, so it is a wave of change in just seeing that and being able to see, like, where you got all these, like ladies who at a certain age, cut their hair off and start bleaching it, didn't want any signs of age, but then they start creating the look. And so you have that group, and then you have this other group, where we're coming in and we're not cutting our hair, we're wearing the clothes we want to wear. We're not, just like, oh, well, now I'm going to just wear, pants that have elastic waist and, I don't know, tuck in my shirt and, like we're not going with this look. We're going into what we want to look like, how we want to be, or staying more true to ourselves. And I think it's showing that there is, because not everybody ages the same. And you can see the people who think that they age and don't take care of themselves, they're aging way faster. The people who see themselves as viable and still respect themselves and enjoy being alive, and I swear to God, it's a huge part to deal with your shit. It's a huge part of aging is not dealing with your shit. You got to deal with your shit. You got to let go of stuff. And I swear to God, it slows down the aging. And keep in mind, too, you do all this detoxing and all this work ahead before you get to the med beds. This is where I was thinking, geez, doing all of this stuff ahead before getting in the med bed, where it's like you start turning back time yourself. Then you get in there, it's like, oh my God, it takes you back 25 years. And I'm not saying it takes you, turns back time to where you're 25 years ago, 25 years old again. No, it turns your cells back. Your cells go back to, an optimal version. In 25 years, hopefully, you do so much damage in 25 years. And we'll see with some of these people. I'm curious to see it with my mom, if she goes in the med bed and, and she's almost 80 and it turns back to, go back to like a 60-year-old body. And, we'll see. Will there be some people? Because to me, it seems like if you are doing all these detoxing and stuff, and you go in and you go back 25 years, if you're already turning your stuff back 10 or 15 years, and then you go back another 25, it's like you're going back to, just like where I was saying, it's like my hair seems like it's turning back into what my hair was like in high school. So that's what I'm saying is your cells, everything starts going back. The more that you start feeding it what it needs and taking care of it, then it starts going back. And then when we go into these med beds, that is like this vibrational, energetic kind of impulse, like because your body has like an optimum frequency, so then it puts it at that so it can regenerate itself and heal. And then you can always go back into them, but see, we're changing out of this toxicity. So we won't, it's not like you would need it, like right now, I feel like we'd need to go in the fucking med bed every week because we're overrun by so much toxins and stuff. So, and there's something weird too with the atmosphere. I swear, sometimes it is so fucking loud. The other day we went outside, she wanted to go for a walk, and I felt like it was sucking the air out. Like I couldn't get a breath. I felt like if I was like really high up in elevation. If you've ever been higher up and it's like fuck, can't, like it's like the difference in the breath, in the breathing. And it was like, fuck, I just want to get back in the house. I want to get back in the house and where I feel like I can breathe. It's like running into my little safety zone. It's weird how I see things because it's like my brain does not see things like on three-dimensional or something. It's always seeing it like I said, like I'll start seeing the movement of the energy and stuff. Like I see things on these other like in the imagery and stuff. And but so you are you're already doing all this healing and stuff. I was weird. It just like, I don't even know. That was weird. YouTube keeps doing weird shit at my house. There's so much weird shit that is going on, like electronic stuff, weird stuff, just weird stuff, just nonstop. But with this storm thing too, so this weird atmosphere, and then no sun. But you can see this light source back behind like the deep cloud coverage. And then, oh my gosh, when I went to get in my car yesterday, it was so fucking moldy. I've got like a leak somewhere. I had like a fish tank in the back of my car, just a big pond. And then in the foot part of the car. So I was like scooping that out, and my car's all molded inside. And then I moved some stuff into the other car. That car's so molded inside. Everything here is so wet and so moist, and it is so, oh my gosh. And then the atmosphere just is creating mold. And that could be making me feel shitty too, is, breathing in all this goddamn mold all fucking time. And so, but I had just seen, so yesterday over in the islands, so the San Juan Islands. So when you go from my house, so if like I said, I would drive to the beach, it's like 30 minutes and, or 40 minutes, say. But it's a peninsula. And so if you think about like Vancouver, Canada is over here, and it kind of sticks out, and you have this peninsula thing, and you have this little part that sticks out, but you have these little islands out there called the San Juan Islands. And it's like Oak Harbor. There's a whole bunch of these little islands, and I think that is like the Wicker Man in the movie Wicker Man, when the Nicolas Cage one, he goes over to these islands, the San Juan Islands. So it's like, but you can go to them. Like I've gone over there and gone shopping and out to eat and went and visited friends and stuff over there. So, like I know somebody else who went over to one of them, and he said it was so fun, and there's all these little witchy stores. And then they went into some tavern place, and everyone in there singing together and having a good time. So it's like a different kind of, which I think we're going to go into so much more of that kind of life where everybody is like a community. And in the little stores where people can go sell their stuff and buy things and stuff. And I think we're going to go so much more into people making things. Like, it's so weird how we buy all this just like garbage stuff, all just made on a conveyor belt and paid top dollar for it, and need more and more. Got to have one of every color. And so anyways, but the islands yesterday, so they had a big storm and they got devastated. Went through there with the waves crashing, and that fucking year-long cruise is going through Drake's Pass or something today, and gets like, I don't know, she said like 20 foot waves, 40-foot waves. I swear to God, I think some of these people are so, I feel like people just mess with nature, but that's what they're here to do, here to learn, you know. It's just weird when you watch all these people just mindlessly do stuff, but they know it at some part. They just don't know they know it. Like, all these people chose all these dramas to happen to themselves. They just don't remember. But if they remembered, see, they wouldn't feel so sad, and they need to feel sad so that they can grow. And so, anyways, there was some storms over there, and now we're expecting this giant cold front, which I think I'm going to have to order some more wood. It's like, fuck, man, every time. It's like, goddamn, now it's almost February, but now they're going to start hitting us with the cold fronts. So who knows how long that's going to go. And then if they turn off the power, it's like 90% of the people are supposed to be hit with some frigid temperatures this week and some chaotic thing due to this polar Arctic, whatever they're calling it. And I had just seen this girl who, I'm telling you, I get these, like, things will come into my mind, and then I'll see people for days talking about these things. So, and to me, it's just confirmation, you know, like, oh, okay, see, I'm getting it too. I'm hearing that same thing too. But so she was saying, just out of the blue, she started talking about the generations and how Gen X, Z, the same thing I was saying, and how then they got to Gen Alpha, and then that's where they are starting over with their thing. But that is those 4 generations. They said it only takes them 4 generations to create the change that they want. And then look at what they have. I mean, they got 10-year-olds out there just, and they're whipping their parents around like, well, it's your $1,000, but get in there and pay it. Like this one girl, she was even saying, this girl was saying something about, well, you know, his products are pretty expensive. And the little kid was like, it's only $40. It's like, kid, when did you go make 40 bucks? It's like, yeah, it's really easy to think like, yeah, it's not that much until you go out and work for it. Go work for it and see how long it takes you to make it. See how much bullshit you got to go through to get that 40 bucks. And then you're just telling your parents, go through bullshit, go through bullshit. But the parents just do it. The parents don't want to stand. It's like the parents act like the kid is like the Twilight Zone kid. Well, I'll put you in the TV. I don't like that. I don't like you. You want to go in the TV? It's like the parents are like scared of their kids or something. And it probably has to do with like, because you got to see how developmentally how things are so fucked up. You got these people who fuck off their parents, you know, fuck them. They didn't do everything right for me, so I'm gonna do everything right for my kid. And then they, you know, hate their parents, judge their parents, and their parents are just over there like beat down, like nothing they've ever done in their life was good enough. Nobody ever cared about them. No matter how hard they worked, nobody ever appreciated them. You know, they're just going through the beat down of themselves too. And then these people now have got, so they've got their older parents. Well, you can just go and live in a nursing home. Just go deal with your shit. You weren't there for me. Even though every parent, you know, well, you say every parent is there for their kid, but, you know, some parents are very reactive and very bitter and very angry and very abusive to their kids. So not every kid wants their parent to be there for them in some of the ways that the parents are there for them. But the it's all varying degrees. Everybody's got to figure out their own. But the parents, so the person who is the parent of these younger kids and then detached from their judging their own parents, and they're trying to be the perfect parent, but they think that means just be lenient. You know, don't get mad at them, don't yell at them, don't spank them, don't you know, just because this person felt so bad by their parents, felt like their parents judged them and was mean to them, and so now they're going to do the opposite to try and heal their wounds, do the opposite on their kid, and turn their kid into a spoiled, rotten brat that is not. I mean, how would some of these kids even be able to support their own stuff? And then how many of these? That's one thing about retinol. I was told a long while ago, because I had considered getting it, like when you start getting wrinkles and stuff, and I was talking to the doctor. And this is before it was in every product on the market. And you could just buy a little tube of cream retinol, and then you just put it on your wrinkles, and it does something to them. I don't know. But she said that the thing is your skin becomes addicted to it. And so you have to use it. You can't ever stop. Once you start using it and you stop, then it is like it wrinkles up real quick. It goes back to where it would have been. So you are using it for 20 years and keeping your wrinkles good, and where you don't look like you have a lot of wrinkles. And then you stop using it. Like, one thing that they like to do with these products is just take them away. Take them away, because look how much depression you can create if all of a sudden there's no retinol. You got all these people that are addicted to retinol and addicted to feeling good about themselves as they age. I guess apparently Jennifer Aniston has done some kind of stuff to herself, especially after she, for all those years, kept saying, that she wouldn't do that. She was more natural and stuff. And now she's coming out with some new improved face where people are like, ooh, doesn't even look like her. Like, these people are like, oh, she ruined herself. Like, what the hell happened to her? And I heard there's this word saying that even on her set of her show, she does a morning show with Reese Witherspoon, that the people who work on the show, they said they can't even stand to look at her. That they just, it's so unsettling. It's just weird. So I don't know. I supposedly there's all these pictures going around from, I don't know, they just had an award show the other day, Golden Globes or something. And so I went to look at the pictures and to see, I was like, I don't know. I mean, she looks weird. She doesn't look like scary weird. Like, fuck, I think Nicole Kidman. God damn. Some of these people are just turning themselves into plastic. They just, fuck. Dolly Parton. Like, a lot of these people just look so fucking weird. Madonna. God damn. And Madonna, like, I just saw this guy. I don't know. I think he's kind of outspoken. I'm sure he's a conservative because I've seen him before. He goes and he talks. I think his name's Matt. And he goes and talks at places, and he has people who are trans come up and they get real mad at him over his opinion and try and prove him wrong or something. And he always says all this logical stuff. But so he was doing a show on Madonna. I was like, oh God, he's so real. The stuff he's saying is real, but it's so blunt. And it's kind of mean, you know. It's kind of mean. Like, she's before she became a attention whore. It's like, and she has had no talent. She hasn't had any no hit songs in 25 years, but she's still out there grinding away. And he's like, she's so embarrassing. It's like, you set out your old grandma out there, and she's out, because this video footage I've seen, it is embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, and it's like she doesn't even have, it's like she doesn't even have rhythm. It's not even really dancing. It's just all this jolting around and acting like she's shorting out or something. And she's got these weird space-age glasses. It's a complete suit of silver on, and it doesn't look good. It's not like just the same way as I didn't think Dolly Parton looked good in fucking Texas cheerleader little outfit. I thought it looked ridiculous. And then, so Madonna, and then she has some wig on. It's a super long blonde hair wig. She just looks like some weirdo space age. And then when you think about, like, this is somebody who's almost 70 acting like this. Like, where is your respect for yourself? Like, when does it stop? And like that guy said, is like, when have you even had, like, why are you even out touring? Like, don't you make enough money off of what you've done prior? You're embarrassing yourself, and you look desperate, and you look silly. But she's still so far up her own ass. So Cher, all these women who was sold out, like, and then you don't even know if they're just like paid, like well, you have to. You're on contract. I mean, you got all these Barbra Streisand, Cher, Madonna. I'm gonna move. I'm leaving this country if he goes back in. It's like, okay. Like, this is, I mean, how absurd can you be? Like, what is going on in the country? Like, you're embarrassing. You're just embarrassing. You're going to leave the country. Like, everything was so much better. Like, everything was going better. There was more money, bringing industry back, like, everything was changing for the positive, finally. And then, you know, we have to get this swift kick. But that is one thing that it's why it has to play out this way. You know, Joe being shown yesterday about this $105 million he's stolen or something. Like, all this stuff is going to keep coming out to show, like, they're just making it a bigger, it's not like, oh, we just want to get this guy. No, they want to get all the guys. They want everybody involved. And they want everyone to understand how big this really is. And I just saw, so in Texas, they just had, all these big storms and a big freeze and blizzard. I think they had a blizzard in Texas. And so on one of the freeways, they had a huge pileup of all these trucks. Like, man, when you just keep seeing all these pileups of all these trucks, I was like, who's going to be moving all their stuff? Because there's already problems with the railway, which that was a part of their big thing, is to make sure, it's like the infrastructure is a collapse, but, when you start considering what is going to go down, all these deliveries, there's the trucks and stuff, like there's all these trucks, and when they're having all these trucks get wrecked, it's on purpose. This isn't by accident. And this one person who was a trucker, who was at this pileup, who's doing this video, he said, look at this, all these trucks. Not one single one is a Swift. And I was like, well, I'm not a trucker or anything, so I don't really know what the deal is with Swift. But I have seen Swift trucks a lot. So I know what he's talking about when he says none of them are Swift trucks. So I was like, well, okay, that's weird. So there's no Swift trucks over here in this big pileup when Swift must move a certain products or something. They must work for a certain group. Is there certain groups that are told, hey, don't go that direction. It's going to get nasty. And all these different, because they come in and they hit into these storms suddenly. And with the one over here by me. So the San Juan Islands. So I had seen that a couple times yesterday. And then this morning, so I just went on this morning to see what was up, to see, what's going on out in the world. And so this video I saw, and it was showing this haunted forest that is over here by me. It's just like 3 hours from Seattle up, so it's over here. I know where they're talking about. And so they start doing this story about this haunted forest and how it became this haunted forest was in 1700 when a giant tsunami came and it took out this whole area. And so they were explaining how this all happened. And so it's on that fault line, the one that we're watching right now. And see, because the Cascadian one, and then there's two fault lines. So this fault line, he said, is 50 miles out from the coast. So so we're talking about these tectonic plates, what they're watching and stuff. So they're saying 200 years ago that the tectonic plates shifted, caused this huge event to happen. It was split second. He said it happened overnight. It was one night, like it keeps happening in all these places. And it was January 27th. And it was in the middle of a snowstorm. And so the tectonic plates all of a sudden shifted and they collapsed I think he said 6 feet. I thought he said 6 feet. So they just dropped. The tectonic plates just dropped 6 feet. And so all these trees became these ghost trees because when it did that, all their roots were suddenly in salt water. And so all these trees died, which made this ghost forest of all these trees. I don't even know, but that's what this ghost forest was about. All these trees. And but the thing that was getting me was that how close, January 27th, it was all of a sudden, it was the tectonic plates just dropped and, or shifted. It's like you think of them all just stacked up and then they just shift out and then they just collapse down. And see, that's what's happening. And I think that it is like all these like vibrations and stuff, like we're feeling all this. And like that one lady had said, like she was showing all those earthquakes going around all over in America. Like the ground is shifting all underneath us. And, if you go out there and you think about the doomsday map, which I don't understand, all these people that just act like it's nothing. Like, but they're not supposed to. We're the ones of us who see, we're supposed to see. We're not supposed to make them see. We're supposed to see. There's a purpose to us seeing. So all these shifts happening are happening all around us, but these ones right out here, seeing it can be like overnight, just boom. And that storm happened on the islands, and it was big giant waves going, and it's going like right over our house. And so all these but it can happen just like boom, and then the tectonic plates go, and then there's these shifts. So, and there's no way to know, and you can't run from destiny. That's the thing. You can sit there and be like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. What am I going to do? Oh my God, there's going to be an earthquake. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go. Like, how do you even prepare? Where do you go? Even if you go like, it's like the things that got to go and happen, and then you got to deal with what happened. It's like you can't sit here ahead and keep trying to think like, oh my God, oh my God. It's like you got to be prepared for anything that can happen. You got to see like, oh, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. So I should be prepared if any of this stuff goes down. But it isn't like you can run from it. If it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. And all this stuff is meant to happen. And to me, like the doors open, just like with my girl who was staying here. Doors just start opening. And also keep in mind, when doors start opening for you, don't be surprised if you start sabotaging yourself because you don't feel like things, good things don't happen to me. You've got to allow good things to happen. You've got to start seeing yourself different. So when doors start opening, you have to be comfortable to walk through them. You can't just stand back there. No, it's got to be a mistake. No, couldn't be for me. Nah. You got to be like, okay, this door's opening. Here I go. Let's see where it's going. And, you got to, but the doors will open. It isn't like you can't force them. And especially you can't do it out of fear. So I can't just sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house. Oh my God, they're going to come and steal my house. Because this stuff goes in my mind. Like, ugh, this bank thing doesn't fucking hurry. Especially when I have my one daughter who's so caught up in the 3D. And she's like, you're going to lose your house. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, whatever's going to go down, I've already prepared. Like, I've been preparing for the next part. This part's ending. I can't hold this part together. I've been preparing for what's to come. So I'm always like, I'm set. I'm not worried about it all. As soon as this fucking shit collapses, I'm going to be able to go buy a farm wherever I want. I'll be able to go buy a little farm and I'll be fine. I'm not worried at all about it. And, and if I lose this place, then that's how it's meant to be, especially when, on top of it with the banking stuff, on top of it, you have the storm stuff and the fact that it's not on the new map. It's like, and all these people, like how many people like in Panama City have been just broke as fuck, can't make their payments. They just don't have enough money to eat their food, but they're making their payments and then boom, their house is gone and they got nothing. And it is, all these places, Lahana, all these places, just like I had said fucking last year, I said the insurance is not going to pay for this shit. Where in the world does anyone think that there's an insurance company? The government doesn't even have any money. The government's just being shown that all they do is just play with money. It's just games. And there is none. There is no money to be handing out to these people. Oh yeah, go build your house back up. No, they are in the process of taking everything away, leaving us with nothing to try and motivate us to go into their, camps and shit like that. And I think it is, they end up in their own camps, really. And, but it is, but it's the universal action of things turning the other way is, everything is going to turn the other direction. So even if they want us to lose everything so that we become dependent on them, like we'll lose everything. We'll lose stuff, but then we will gain freedom from losing because we'll see the loss that we lose is kept us attached to some place or something that we didn't want to be attached to. So it's the freedom of letting go and not continuing that toxic relationship and allowing yourself to take risks, not be dependent. And so okay, let me think for a second because I'm kind of getting lost. So the person, the toxic way of looking, people look at themselves as so toxic. They look at everything as the people. It's like their attitude. It's like it's all coming from within them. Is the things that you feel are coming from inside of you. Like everything can happen, just like with the house and stuff. So all this stuff can happen. I can look at it in different ways. I choose how I look at it. I choose to look at it as if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If I'm meant to lose my house, then I'm meant to lose my house. I'm not going to sit here and bite it and scream and cry, because I know that when you lose something, something better comes. It's always like whatever you are losing, it's like, it's a movement towards something better. It's like a leveling up, but you can't, how can you level up if you're holding on to what you had? You got to let go of what you had. So you can't just sit here and, well, it's the only house I'll ever have. I have to have this house. It took me everywhere to get this house. Like, I'll never get another house. Well, you let yourself get all worked up. And that leads you into fear and into doing things that you don't want to do in order to keep what you don't really need to keep, what you don't really need to hold on to. That is that pattern that you are starting to understand about yourself in your relationship with the universe. When you can get into a trust with the universe, and you can get into like, okay, well, this is going to be gone, but something better's coming. This is going to be better. So to see, they want to make it where it is like we're losing everything. But if you keep your attitude in as a certain direction, it's a certain way of looking at things. So if you can keep yourself in alignment to the good part of it, the possibilities, like, yeah, things are going, but better things are coming. And not be stressed out like, oh my God, what, and it's easy to get stressed out, like right now, especially, like, and it's coming in closer too. It's like coming in closer, and and I don't know, I don't know what's to come. It's, if I lose the house, even if it ends up that I have to go live in my car for a while or something, I think I would just, I don't know, doors will open. That's what I keep thinking. Some kind of doors will open. So I just got to not stress. As things close, the other things will open. And, timing is everything. So, just, you got to just go with the flow and trust. And, I know a lot of people end up, they think their trust took them into a place where now they're living in the streets and they're living in their van and stuff. But it's like, well, that's what you were meant to do. You were meant to live that way because you were going to learn something. And then once you learn that, then you will shift. And it's like, there's lessons in every opportunity, but you have to learn some of those lessons in order to get to the part where you want to be, because it teaches appreciation. And if you go without something, and in this world right now, so many people just take things for granted and they don't have gratitude. And so there's a lot of those kinds of lessons happening. So even if you think like, well, I'm just trying to let go, and everything went worse, everything got worse. Well, it's because you have lessons there. Don't get down on it. Don't get down on yourself. Don't feel bad. Go with the flow. Go in and see, what are these lessons? What am I here to learn, And know that it's leading you to where you want to go. That's where you got to keep in your mind. You've got to stay present in your lessons, and you've got to keep knowing it's directing you towards something good. It's all in the direction of how you direct your energy. And if you're looking at it in a positive way, seeing the good parts of it and having gratitude, or if you are in this other mindset of poor you, the world's out to get you, the world sucks, everybody sucks, life isn't worth it, and everybody's mean to you, and all that stuff, then you're going to just sit back there and feel bad, and you're going to stay distant. You're going to keep people away from you because they may hurt your feelings. And so you isolate yourself and become more sad, more lonely, but you're the one creating it. Because if you take a chance and you see like, oh, well, if I just have boundaries, if I just, put boundaries up, I can be around these people. But putting up boundaries is very awkward and uncomfortable. So you got to become comfortable with yourself. You got to be comfortable being vulnerable and showing a side of yourself that you need to protect. So it's it's a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, well, I know what boundaries are, so I'm just going to put some. Putting them is hard. And the universe will give you challenges, like hard challenges, people that you don't want to put up boundaries to, Grandma comes walking in and saying something, you know, and then you got to say something, but you don't want to be aggressive, but you still want to be honest. You want to be real. And so you have, you know, those are all just the challenges. That's the challenges of the game, is becoming who you are, seeing who you are. And yeah, you may, you know, come out, and you may come out, you know, punching and angry, and, you know, you got pushed too far. And now you got to deal with this side of yourself where you're like, oh my God, I'm such a dick, man. God, somebody says something to me, I lose my mind and start getting so mad. That's where you get to see yourself. Don't get mad and don't get upset. Just see yourself, recognize yourself, and see, like, fuck, if I get pushed too far, I'm going to lose my mind. So how do I keep myself from getting pushed too far? Start being more aware, being more honest with myself. You know, when somebody's saying something, don't just laugh it off. Don't pretend like something's not bothering me. You know, stand up and say, hey, you know, that bothers me. And if the person continues and it doesn't show respect towards you, then you can walk away. You don't have to sit there and take something that you don't want to take. And just because somebody is disrespectful to you doesn't mean that you don't deserve respect. It doesn't even mean that they're really disrespecting you. They can be just stuck. They can be stuck not being able to control themselves. And also, there's all these things that are supposed to happen because you're supposed to have these triggers. Because what else would you be doing here if you weren't getting triggered and growing and healing and becoming stronger and better and more advanced, evolving? You know, what is life about? If it's not about evolution, it's not about growing, it's not about learning from your lessons and becoming better. So, anyways, I feel like I'm just like, it's like, fuck. I don't know if I connected all the dots, but it's like the same messages all the time. It's like the same thing. It's like it's all about how you look at things and about seeing things and about this connecting to yourself. And, you know, it's important to connect to this world on a spiritual side, because the spirit is who you really are. And the spirit is who's here to have the avatar is not here to have the experience. The spirit is here for the experience. So what is the spirit experiencing? What is the kind of experience that the spirit wants to have? Why would a spirit come into an existence to have an experience? What would be the point? What would be the purpose? So to me, it's just like you start looking at things logically. But then you go and study all different spiritual stuff, and you start putting it together. You start just understanding and seeing. So anyways, I think it's all, you know, a part of it. I think it's all a part of this shifting and people discovering who they are. And, you know, it's a valuable thing to face yourself and to work on yourself and to start taking responsibility for how you feel and quit blaming others and trying, because nothing can get fixed if you think somebody else is making you do something, until you can step up and say, no, I'm doing this. I'm doing it because I want them to like me. I'm doing this because I'm for views. I'm doing this for something outside of me. I'm not doing it because inside of me I feel driven to do this. Or find the drive that's driving you. What is it? What is it? What's the motivation? What is the drive behind the force? What is the reason you do the things you do? That's what, you know, I think that's an important part of growth, is to break it down. Break it down. Try and understand yourself. Try and figure yourself out. And try and look at things from broader perspectives. Everything that you can, just try and look at it from somebody else's point of view and somebody else's point of view. And just seeing it in as much clarity as you can get. Because it's just so easy to get so, you know, where you think this microscopic little thing, that's all there is. It's like there's so much more. But as long as you're focused on that, you don't see all this. So anyways, that's the lesson for today. This is a spiritual lesson from, I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell am I doing here? Like, trying to tell people how to live healthy and mentally and physically, and you can improve your life. And it, it matters, and so anyways, that's my theory. That's my logic on it. So that's what I'll share. We'll see what this day brings. I still have power. I know that there's other people who are struggling. Like, there's so much, and we're just going to get so cold again. And it's just like, oh my God. But it does seem so close. Like, the money, I mean, the government, like, the stuff just hit. And the stuff over in, with the blues in the temples, and there's way more coming out, like, because that is going to be a big part. Like, I mean, there's going to be a big fracturing of that group, because there's a lot of people who, I mean, when my mom is like, that's the chosen people, it's like, Mom, okay, yeah, a creator's going to be like, well, those people right there, those are the good ones. Those ones. The rest of you, I don't know about you, but those are my good ones right there. Those are the chosen ones. It's like, what the fuck? It's not. Oh my God. How do you believe these things? But these people who believe that about themselves, who are so far up their own ass to believe that they are the God's chosen ones. There's so many of these people out here. Oh, we're the chosen. No, we're the chosen. No, I'm the chosen. We're all chosen. So, yeah, that group is going to fall apart. It's going to be big and ugly, because you've got all these other groups that are like, oh, bow down. I'll take a knee to the chosen. It's like, yes, please take a knee to me. I am the chosen. I am God's gift to the world. Thank you very much. Take a knee. Take a knee. Everyone take a knee. It's like, okay. So we're going to see some nastiness come out of that. That's what I say. There's going to be some, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it's clearly showing how it's been going, and it's going to just continue in the same. But yeah, there's a lot going on about that. There's more links. There's more, there's a whole underground system. Why do they need this underground system? I wonder. Why would there be blood on mattresses down here? I wonder. Where are all these people go? Just go fucking listen to goddamn Finkelstein. Fucking Rabbi Finkelstein. Like, that's all you gotta do. Listen to that guy. You got it all comes to you. Like, no, all questions are answered. Just listen to that guy. So, anyways, that's the homework for today. Go find that Finkelstein if you want to know what's going on with these people. So, anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow in the morning. Let's just see how this day goes. Talk to you later. Bye.